Hi, guys. Come on in. Happy Tuesday. Come on in for today's training. So good to be here with you guys again. Since I ran the Choose Your Niche, Nail Your Messaging Bootcamp, it's good to be back and doing these weekly lives with you guys. So come on in. I'm going to let people trickle in. And as always, just checking the group to make sure that you guys can hear me, you guys can see me. So as you come in, let me know where you are watching from. And I see I'm live in the group, so that's a good sign. But come on in, let me know where you're watching from, what you hope to learn today. Today's topic, how to set yourself apart in a saturated market. Very, very important topic when it comes to running your coaching business, right? Otherwise, it starts to feel almost exasperating, right? Like there's so much noise out there in the market. And then you start to wonder, how do I stand out, right, in this sea of other coaches? So for those of you who haven't met me yet, I know I'm getting a lot of new members to the group. We are over 800 members strong in the Build a Six-Figure Coaching Business Facebook group, which is so exciting. So if you're just joining us, if you're watching the replay, drop hashtag replay so I can see who's watching. My name is Betty Kempa. I'm a business coach for coaches, a marketing strategist, a LinkedIn expert, an IPEC graduate, and I am a member of the Forbes Coaches Council. Very specifically, I help corporate professionals ditch the 9-to-5 and repackage their expertise and their genius into a six-figure coaching business using my signature methodology, the 5 C's of building a six-figure coaching business. As always, if you'd like additional coaching support with your business, check out the link in the copy of this post to be able to apply for a discovery call with me so that I can get to know you. It's so nice speaking to humans outside of, these lives are great because I can read your comments and interact with you guys, but it's nice to speak to you and get to know about your challenges and your pain points and your goals and your dreams for your business. So your discovery call with me is really that opportunity for me to get to know you and ask any questions. You can ask me any questions you have, and then we can see if you're a fit for the Corporate to Six-Figure Coaching Academy that I run. Okay, so on to today's topic, how to set yourself apart in a saturated market. Let me just go in here, make sure I can hear your comments or read your comments. So drop me a comment if you're watching. Let me know where you're watching from. Just help me out, make sure that I can see your comments. Hey, Charlene, so nice to see you with us today, Charlene. I know everybody's coming off from a longer weekend here, so we're getting back in the groove, and this is really the first step to do that. So how to set yourself apart in a saturated market. And again, what I'm talking about, because I hear this a lot from you guys on discovery calls or connect calls, feeling exasperated that I hear that there's too much noise in the market, right? I hear that a lot. So for example, I might hear someone say, I'm a career coach, and there are so many other career coaches out there, and they're more experienced than me. So, they're posting on social media all the time. How am I going to compete with that, right? So I hear that kind of thing a lot. Or just fill in the blank with whatever your particular niche is, right? And then you wonder, how the heck you're going to stand out, right, in your niche space. So I'm talking about, and maybe, drop a comment below too. What is your niche? So that I can give you examples as it pertains to your niche. Drop a comment. What is your niche? But that's usually what people wonder, right? Each of us with our own respective niches is how we're going to stand out. And what happens is then, for those of you that went to IPEC, the gremlin pops up, or for some of the rest of you that maybe didn't go to IPEC, it's like the inner saboteur or imposter syndrome starts to kick in, and you start to lose confidence, wondering, well, yeah, what does make me or my program so unique, right? It's a vicious cycle. And I also want you to imagine this from your ideal client avatar's perspective as well, right? Imagine you are your ideal client avatar. You're this perfect prospective client, and you're interviewing 3 coaches in your niche, right? You're interviewing 3 coaches, and one of them is you, right? It is important to be able to have a unique value proposition, a differentiator, to be able to stand out, so it no longer really feels like you have competitors. Very important. So the answer to how to stand out amongst your competitors is to identify the missing links in your market. So that is the answer, and that's what I want to talk about today. Identify the missing links in your market. Now, what does that mean, to identify the missing links? You have to identify what are your prospects begging for, but it's not being offered out there currently. Because either your competitors don't want to spend the time offering it, it takes time to offer it, or they don't want to invest the money to offer it, right? What do you know that your prospects need, but it's not being offered out there in your particular niche market currently? So, right, whether it's career coaching or leadership coaching or relationship coaching, health coaching, whatever your niche is, right, that is the secret. Identify the missing links in your market, right? Nobody's offering XYZ, but all my clients or prospects are begging for it, but nobody's offering it. And then you are going to offer it. You're going to offer that missing link, that thing out there that's missing, right? So that's what this is all about, is how do you identify that, right? And once you do identify that missing link, what's not being offered out there by your competitors, but everybody's asking for it, or you know that they need it to achieve their goal, you're going to bake that into your current package, toolkit, or signature methodology, right? So then the question becomes, how do you identify the missing links in your market, right? That's probably the question on everyone's mind. Well, that sounds good in theory. I wish I knew what the missing link was in my market. I would offer it, right? So this does take some work, right? You're going to have to roll up your sleeves and do a little bit of research. I know Charlene was in my boot camp, and for those of you that did attend my boot camp, you've done some of this work, so you can use some of this work, what I'm talking about, as far as identifying that missing link so you can offer it within your program. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is put on your detective hat, and we're going to start researching, right? So take a look at first your ideal client avatar surveys. Calling it an ICA survey. But this is really, what I ask in the boot camp, but all of you guys should be doing this, is speaking to your ideal client avatar, the human that encompasses your ideal client as you imagine them. Even if they're not currently your client, you should have this picture in your mind of whatever it is, job title, industry, age, whatever, demographics, psychographics, right? This is could be a whole nother training topic. But you want to have conversations with those ideal client avatars. And those conversations should be you uncovering the pain points and challenges, right? Where do they need help or feel stuck? 2, uncovering their hopes and dreams, right? What's the goal? What's the vision? 3, you want to actually ask them, when you're doing an informational interview with someone who's your ideal client avatar, this is just market research, right? We're not selling them. We're doing research. You actually want to ask, what have you already tried to solve XYZ pain point, whatever it is, that hasn't worked? That's a really important clue in identifying the missing link. What have you already tried that hasn't worked to solve said pain point, right? You also want to ask them what frustrates them about what is currently being offered in the market, right, to support their particular problem. And remember, we are all solving problems as coaches, right? Especially from a marketing perspective. From a marketing perspective, you want to be solving a problem, right? That's our I help who with what, so that statement, right? So you want to ask these ideal client avatars, hey, out of everything that's out there, to help you with that problem you told me you had, right? Parenting your kids, getting your dream job, finding work-life balance, getting along with your spouse, whatever it is, your niche, right? You want to ask them what frustrates you about what is currently or not currently out there to help you solve that problem, right? That's when people really start to open up to you. Well, what frustrates me is, whatever. I wish I had an example of how to talk to my kids through conflict, parenting coaching, right? Relationship coaching, right? I wish I had somebody on hand that I could, reach out to when I'm in a fight with my spouse to help cool off. Like, I'm making this stuff up. But do you see what I'm saying? You want to ask them, what frustrates you as far as what is currently out there to help support you, or what is not out there to help support you, right? Ask them what they need. The second thing is that you want to research in order to identify the missing link. We're trying to identify the missing link so you can offer it, is the buzz online. Again, a lot of my boot camp people already did some of this work. So the buzz online, you want to get into Facebook groups or online forums where your ideal client avatar hangs out. You guys should all have a list of all the Facebook groups, all the forums, all the places online where your people hang out. And really, you want to spend some time scrolling the comments and the questions and make a spreadsheet of the most common frustrations or challenges that they are talking about online, that they experience when it comes to solving that pain point, right? So example, I'm helping corporate professionals ditch the 9-to-5 and build a 6-figure coaching business. When I go online, some of the stuff that people are talking about, they don't know their niche. They don't know how to attract clients. They don't know how to build the system to attract clients on autopilot. Often they need extra layers of accountability, right? They're frustrated that they bought a 2K digital course, and then what? And then no one was really there to help them implement, right? They need layers of accountability and support. Otherwise, what happens, and this is what I'm reading when I go out and I look at comments online, is that people are suffering from shiny object syndrome, trying to stand up their coaching business. So you get what I'm saying? I'm always keeping my ears to the ground, and I'm listening to what my ideal client avatar is buzzing about online, what they're saying they're frustrated about, what they actually need. And all of you guys want to be doing that. Okay, so make a list of Facebook groups or forums where your ideal client avatars hang out. Go through the comments. Make a list. What are they buzzing about that they're frustrated about or is missing out there for support? Ask the community moderator. It depends on the rule of the Facebook group that you're checking out, but read the rules. Ask the community moderator, hey, can I post a question to the group? No selling involved. I'm just doing market research. Some groups are cool with that. Some are not, right? But if it's allowed, you could post in the group, hey, if you're in a group for moms, because you're a coach for moms in some capacity, hey, moms, what frustrates you when it comes to solutions that are out there to solve XYZ pain point, whatever it is you're helping them do, right? Moms, what do you really need that is currently not being offered? So you could post that yourself. You could post that on your personal page if you have enough people in your connection list that fit your ideal client avatar, or you could go to a group where your people hang out and see if that's against the rules or not. The next place you want to research, again, we're talking about in order to stand out in a market that feels oversaturated, you need to research the missing link. That's the key. Research the missing link and then offer it, right? That's how to stand out in the market. So the next place to do that is to go through your discovery call applications or just your discovery call notes. Okay, that says discovery call notes or apps. So here's what I mean. So for me, I use a discovery call application, and I do, believe and teach that you do want to pre-qualify have a pre-qualification form for people in order to hop on the phone with you. So if you have that, if you're watching this and you currently have a discovery call application, go through your applications. If people are filling out a form prior to getting on a call with you, that's a gold mine of information. So go through all of those forms. And again, if you guys want an example of what I'm talking about, in the copy of this video, I included a link to my application, my discovery call application. So if you want to see what I'm talking about, click on that link and take a peek. But every time somebody fills out a form, an application for a discovery call prior to getting on a call with you, there's a ton of clues, and they're talking about what's missing that they really need. So go through that gold mine of clues. Even if you don't have a discovery call application, just ask when you're on a discovery call. When you're on a discovery call with somebody, how have you already tried to solve that problem? Why hasn't that worked? What has been missing for you in trying to solve that problem? What do you really need? Dig, 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 right? And again, same kind of questions as, you're asking with your informational interviews on your discovery call. Hey, what frustrates you about what's available out there to solve that particular problem? What's been missing for you? Right. Again, I gave you that example that people get frustrated when building a coaching business. They buy a 2K digital course to build their business, and then they're left to implement on their own. And there's no additional support or accountability, right? So that's just an example. The next place where you can research missing links, highly, highly important, is to research your competitor offerings. That one's really important. Okay. I use something called a competition matrix with my clients, where we essentially research the top 10 competitors in their niche. We take a magnifying glass to their competitors' packages and their offerings. And what we do is compare what the competitors are offering to what the ideal client avatars or prospects are saying they really need. Right? We're comparing the two. That right there is the missing link. Oh, here's what 10 of my competitors are offering. And here's what I researched that my ideal client avatars actually need that they're not getting. And it's usually something hard to offer. And that's why no one's offering it. Right? And then you're going to offer that thing. You're going to do it. You're going to take it to the next mile, the next step, and you will offer that thing that your competitors are not. Right? So competitor research, create a spreadsheet of what your competitors are offering and identify what is missing based on the research you did with your ideal client avatars, what they told you they really need. Okay. Now, hey, Carol, how are you? Carol, you're going to watch the replay? Beautiful. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, absolutely. Watch the replay. And as you guys are listening to this, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, go ahead and drop your questions into the comments. I'm either that's why I do these too, is not just so I'm talking at you guys, but so that we can have dialogue, so I can answer your questions. So feel free to drop your questions in, and I will either answer live or I'll come circle back and answer them. Okay, so you've done all this research. That's your research to identify the missing link in the market, okay? You're going to take all of your findings of the missing link in the market based on that research, and you're going to bake those missing links into a couple different places because now you've discovered the Holy Grail, right? And this is not easy work to do, but it's doable work to do. So what are you going to do with that missing link? The first thing you're going to do is insert it into your own signature methodology. Right? So you're like, yes, this is the thing they need. You're going to input that into your own signature methodology. Okay. And all of you, by the way, should have your own unique signature methodology, which is 3 to 5 steps or pillars that you are using to get your clients from pain to dream. Okay, another topic for another time. And then the other thing you're going to do with those missing links that you've discovered is you're going to bake it into your package deliverables. Those two places. Now, let me give you a couple examples. I want to make this tangible and real for you guys. When I first started coaching, I started out as a career coach because I wanted to help, right, former versions of myself, women just like me, get out of their unfulfilling jobs, their corporate jobs that were killing them, and into careers they loved. That's how I started. So I remember, again, just think about how this story could relate to you and your niche. So I'm this career coach, and by the way, I had no background as I was never in human resources. I was never a recruiter, right? So I didn't have that, to be able to say, oh yeah, I've been a recruiter for 10 years. So what I did was I studied the missing link between what my ideal client avatars said they really needed in order to identify and transition to their dream job. I studied that, and then I studied what my competitors were offering. And here's what I noticed. I noticed that most of my career coaching competitors, most of them, fell into one of two buckets. Either I noticed they were focused more on the inner work of identifying your dream career, right? Find your passion, overcome limiting beliefs, etc. Or they were more focused on the external work with career, right? Build your resume, update your LinkedIn page, personal branding, interviewing for a job, negotiating. You see what I'm saying here? Two separate buckets. There were the internal people, find your passion. And there were the nitty gritty external, let's build the strategy, resume, LinkedIn. I saw that they were falling in those two types of buckets, but what I realized was my ideal client avatar actually needed both of those things to get their dream job, not one or the other, right? And how frustrating for the client that they were going to have to hire a coach to help them find their passion and get through the energy blocks. And then they were going to have to go out and do the resume, LinkedIn, all that stuff separate. So that was the missing link, right? And I decided to offer both the inner work. Let me help you find your passion, your dream career, overcome your limiting beliefs, your fears. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to step up and also offer the external work. Build your resume, your LinkedIn profile, interviewing, negotiating. Now, here's the funny part. I don't like doing resumes. I was a career coach. I'm like, I don't want to do resumes. I just want to coach. But the cool part is I didn't have to. Right now, at the time, I was selling to the executive woman. Now, she didn't want a resume template. She didn't want that. She's like, I don't have time for this. She wanted someone to do it for her. So I brought on 2 contractors to my team, a resume writer and a LinkedIn branding specialist. And then I provided that as a part of my big high ticket package as a done for you service, right? And I paid out the contractors only if I made a sale. So it was a case by case basis. They got, I raised the price of my package and they got a chunk of that. But my missing link and my unique differentiator was that, hey, you don't have to have 2 coaches, one to find your passion, one to help you with your resume and LinkedIn. This team do all of that for you. And I called it a career change board of directors, right? So I just want to give you guys that example of how you can identify the missing link between what your ideal client avatars say they need, what you also know they need. You probably know deep down, oh, they really need this, but that's kind of hard to offer. And then take a look at what your competitors are offering. And then you provide that missing link, right? And boom, competitors are no longer really competitors anymore because you step into a class of your own when you do that. Another example. Now, I don't usually like to send you guys off somewhere else when I'm teaching, but if you're a visual person, this might be helpful for you to see as I kind of walk through it. So in my current program, my corporate to 6-figure coaching academy, it is carefully curated in order to offer the missing links in the market that my competitors are not offering, right? So this is going to be a really good example as you guys are kind of thinking through, what could this look like for me? I want you to start imagining that. So if you click the second link in the video copy, so next to this video, there's copy, right? And there's some copy that says, learn more about the corporate to 6-figure coach academy. There's a link. So feel free to pop in there while I'm talking you through this, because this is going to be a prime example of how you can identify the missing link that your competitors are not offering, and then you offer it. So you can use this as an example, and I'm going to talk you through it. So the first thing, again, now we're talking about what I do now, right? Business coaching, marketing coaching, right? Things like that. Helping corporate professionals stand up six-figure coaching businesses. So I had to take a look at what's out there. What are my competitors doing? And here's what I noticed. I noticed that, a lot of the time, other coaches out there, other business coaches, they're trying to be a one-man show and do everything themselves, right? And here's the problem with that. It actually takes a village to support you in getting to six figures. It does. Business coaches, marketing coaches are not the end all be all. We're a piece of that strategy, but it takes a village to get you to six figures. So I said, that's interesting. That's something that's missing in the market, right? With a lot of my competitors. So I thought I'm going to build an army for my clients, and I call it the six-figure success squad. And of course, I'm a part of that army, right? I'm the one doing business coaching and marketing who takes you by the hand and helps you get to that six-figure mark. But I also brought on a team of accountability coaches, right? You don't see that in a lot of other programs. That's a missing link. That's a unique differentiator, right? So often what I saw my competitors doing, they're chucking information at you, but then there's not someone there that's holding your hand to keep you accountable, right? So that's why I have accountability coaches that are there to help you get out of your own way, take your hand, they're personally assigned to you, and they're making sure you're implementing what you learn, which is so key, right? That's where coaches struggle is we have a tendency, I say we, because me too, we love to learn, but then the implementation part, you have to have that support, right? So I brought those on as a unique differentiator. A money mindset coach, right? Again, it's one thing. I see a lot of coaches out there telling you like, oh, raise your price, raise your price. It's not that easy, right? It's scary to raise your price. So I brought on a money mindset coach as a missing link of what I saw my competitors not doing, right? And she's an accredited financial counselor, a profit first expert. She's certified from the Financial Coach Academy, and she's really the perfect balance of money mindset work, the inner stuff mixed with crunching the numbers, right? Because you have to know the numbers of moving from a salary job to being an entrepreneur, right? In order to run that profitable coaching business and pay yourself. That's the external part. So again, why am I talking about my program? I want you guys to see how I went out and figured out, that's missing out there. People are telling you, yeah, raise your price, but then that mindset piece is missing. So I brought on a money mindset expert to help with coaching my clients. A private mastermind community, right? Again, there's a lot of business coaches out there that will help, right? But they don't all necessarily have a community that you can surround yourself with, right? It's not just a one-man show, right? There's other coaches. For example, in my program, my mastermind, these are incredible coaches, right? A lot of them will, they give you feedback, referrals, ideas, support. Really important to be surrounded by a mastermind. Again, as I look out to my competitors, not everybody's offering that sense of community. Guest experts. Again, I noticed that was missing out there, right? Coaches want to show up and kind of like, I have all the answers. I don't have all the answers, but I will find you all the answers, right? That's why I've curated a special concoction of experts. I just had on a copywriting coach the other week, right? To join into our live sessions and workshops. So again, I'm just walking you guys through this because I want you to see how this is the first way that I set myself up to stand out from a saturated market, right? I bring in a team of experts to support my clients from every single angle because that is what it takes to get to six figures. So I want all of you guys to think about potentially bringing in some experts to enhance your program and support your clients. That's a missing link potentially, depending on the research you've done, right? If you scroll a little bit more down on my page, again, just giving you some examples of missing links and unique differentiators, right? I created something called a six-figure coaching business in a box, right? Because it's more than just to achieve any goal, you need more than strategy, right? and systems, often you need stuff like tools, right, to help you achieve your goal. And I saw a lot of my competitors, right, were kind of telling people, yeah, go out and do this, but they didn't have a nice, tidy, toolkit that they could hand people. So that's what I did. I built out all the templates. I already had all the templates and the stuff, right, to get to six figures. So there's really no need to reinvent the wheel. And that's why I created the six-figure coaching business in a box, which has an on-demand online learning center, right? You don't have to wait for me to send you homework. Like, is Betty going to send my homework? It's all there the second you join the program. Again, that's something different, right? That not all of my competitors are doing. All the templates I provide, lead magnet templates, email nurture sequence, social media graphic templates. I'm not going to go through the list, but I want you guys to imagine, if you're talking to a couple different coaches, how building out a toolkit is a missing link, right, that I identified in doing my research. So, be thinking about, as you look at your competitors, what are the tangible things that if I brought that into my program alongside my coaching could be a unique differentiator for me. Now, you'll also see this on my website. Again, if you go to my services page, and I actually think this part is important, and feel free to do something similar. I actually recommend that you do. I mean, obviously, don't use word for word what I'm sharing, but the concept of what I'm sharing is something you could potentially do as well on your services page. So literally on my services page, you'll see about halfway down, it says, what makes the corporate to six-figure coaching academy different from the rest? I just call it out, right? Literally, everything I taught you in today's lesson, I put it out there. I'm not, dancing around it. I'm like, this is what makes this program different. It's on my services page. These are the missing links. And all of you guys should be calling this out on your services page of your website, right? All of you guys should have a section on your services page where you talk about what makes XYZ program different from the rest. Put it out there. Right? And I talk about different things. And again, these are just examples to get your juices flowing of after you do your research, right? Some of the things that you could share on your website. I talk about my expertise, right? I have over a decade of experience in corporate communications for different Fortune 500s. Why is that relevant? Well, it's because I'm well versed on exactly what it takes to create compelling and engaging content that will inspire a consumer to act. And that's what it takes to build a six-figure coaching business online. And that's what I teach. So I want you guys to all think about, how does your background, your expertise tie into your niche? That's a missing link. That's a secret sauce you have someone else doesn't have. So take a look at not just your job history, but your life history, and ask yourself which pieces of that you can tie into what makes your program unique. Okay? And if you're watching this live or on the replay, drop into the comments. I want to hear it. Like, give me an example. What is it about your expertise, your background, your history, whether it's your career or something else, that's relevant to your niche that other people may not have? I've had clients that were in the military. And often there's different ways being in the military in a former life ties into your niche, right? There are different elements that could potentially tie into that. So think about that. I talked about, accountability being a missing link that I offer in my program. Methodology. Once you build out your signature method, again, you'll see this on my website. I'm just talking you guys through what I have listed so you can see a real life example. But I talk about what makes my program unique is my method. Right? The 5 C's of building a six-figure coaching business. This is what I did to get to six figures my first year as a career coach after I left the corporate world. And this doesn't involve Facebook ads or challenges, or you have to be across every social media platform, right? So, and again, that's what I see a lot of my competitors doing, right? They're, Facebook ads, and you got to be across all this social media, and you don't need that before your first six figures. So missing link. I talked about the tools I offer, right? On my website, if you're looking at what makes this program different, right? The business in a box, right? Giving you access to the on-demand learning center. The other thing I noticed as I looked at my competitors, and again, this is just walking you guys through the research I did and how you could do something similar. A lot of competitors out there are teaching coaches how to sell lower ticket coaching packages, which is tough if you're trying to replace a corporate income. It's really tough to sell a lower ticket when you're feeling like you have to sell a package per week to replace your corporate income, right? That is really tough. So a missing link that I identified and that I offer is I'm teaching you how to create a high value, high ticket coaching package so that you're selling one, maybe two per month to replace your corporate income, right? So that is a unique element of my program that's different. And then, the last thing, again, that I'm sharing on my services page, I'm talking about elevating your expertise, right? So I'm a member of the Forbes Coaches Council. I'm featured in different well-known publications. And I bring that up because that's the path I take my clients down, right? And again, I saw a lot of my competitors out there didn't really necessarily have that, they weren't really into the PR bit of it as much. And that's a big piece of client attraction strategy, right? I want to take you along this path, the Forbes path, the getting published path. That's a big piece of establishing credibility. So again, missing link. You guys see where I'm going with this? So your homework is 1, do the research. Ask your ideal client avatars what they really want, what's been missing for them to get to their goals, what frustrates them about what is currently being offered out there, right? So that's number 1. Do your research. Number 2, look at your competitors, right? So now we know what our people are telling us. Now we got to go look for ourselves and see what's being offered out there. Research your competitors to identify the missing links between what your ICA, your ideal client avatars need and what's actually being offered, right? So that's number 2. Action item number 3, I'm giving you guys homework. Offer it, right? So once you've identified the missing links, you're like, yes, these are the 3 major things that are not being offered out there. Offer it. Do whatever it takes. Bake it into your program, right? Bring on an expert, right? Whatever it takes, offer that thing that nobody else is willing to offer, but is really needed. Put it into your program. Put it into your signature method, right? Sometimes, again, your own expertise is a part of this as well. You have expertise. Your competitors don't, right? So call that out. Now, how are your prospects going to know about this secret sauce? So now you bake it into your program. You're all excited. You're like, yes, I'm offering this stuff. My competitors aren't. I've identified the missing link. But how do people know, right? So here's how they know. First is your website services page. So again, you can feel free, check out mine, pop back in there whenever you need. But you will see on my website services page, I call it out. I say what makes my program different from the rest. So that's the first thing you need to do after you add it to your program. Call it out on your services page. The second thing you need to do is incorporate that conversation into the discovery call, conversation, right? That should be a part of your script. You go through the discovery call, you dig out their pain point and their dream, and towards the end, when you're talking about your solution, you want to actually verbally say, here's what makes this program unique from the rest, right? And then the third thing I want you guys to be doing is once you've, identified the missing link and added it to your package, post about it on social media, right? It makes a great social media post to talk about, here is the unique piece of what I do. Bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. And that is a social media post that's not a one and done. You want to post about it again and again and again and drive it home, right, to people why your program's unique. Bake that into your content marketing strategy. The last thing I want you guys to remember before I sign off here, when it comes to standing out in a saturated market, do all the research, bake the missing links into your offering, but remember, you are the secret sauce. Your energy, you as a human, people want to work with you. That in and of itself will be a major differentiator. But here's the thing about that. what coaches do often is they hide. They don't get on camera. They don't get on camera. And then nobody knows about that secret sauce, right? And that's part of what I help my clients do is, and I was not comfortable on camera forever. I was a blogger. I didn't want to get on camera. But how the heck were you guys going to know about me as a human and my energy until I did this, right? Almost every client that I work with has watched me in some capacity first. And so that's part of what I do too, is help my clients get on camera, get live. It's the only way people can connect to you and your energy. So just had to do a plug for that little reminder. So there you guys have it. How to set yourself apart in a saturated market. Again, as always, if you are ready to build out your six-figure coaching business, the link is in the copy of this video to book a discovery call so we can explore whether you'd be a good fit for the Corporate to Six-Figure Coaching Business Academy. Such a pleasure. Have a wonderful week. Continue to drop questions into this thread and I will be here to answer them. And I will see you guys next week for a new training topic. Bye now.